And I'm finally setting aside my pride, and we're going to call in the professionals, because I love DIY, don't get me wrong. But at a certain point, there's only so much of this a man can take before it breaks him. It's getting to be too much. Owning one boat is hard enough. Owning two is damn near impossible. Getting on one boat is going to help us focus on a lot of our other goals. We want to get our captain's licenses. I want to get certified from ABYC to be a marine electrician and fiberglass technician. We want to eventually turn this into a business where we can help you guys more directly. So I'm going to finish what I can on the deck from what I've already started, but I'm not going to paint it. I'm totally okay not being the one to finish the deck because having it done is more important to us than having it done by me. So Courtney and I might be buying something a little new. We're under contract currently for this Nassau 42. Hold on, let me get over here.
Tatouche 42.
We're on contract to get this Tatouche or Nassau 42, depending on who you ask, and we'll see what the survey says. So that didn't end up happening. The whole reason we were looking at this boat is because we thought it was ready to go sailing. We thought that we could sell Iris and Anticipation at the same time and pay off this new boat and just go cruising. Because honestly, after everything we went through this last year, we're a little sick of projects. However, when we met with the surveyor, we very, very quickly found some very major structural issues. The quote that we got to get these issues repaired was almost as much as the seller was asking to buy the boat. However, since we had already set aside all the money to buy a new boat, we decided let's go ahead and do the next best thing and hire a professional to finish one of the biggest projects that we have, repainting the hull and deck. There's a lot of people that can do it themselves and make it look okay. However, we wanted to make it look brand new. We wanted a professional paint job, and that's something that requires a lot of specialized equipment, a couple of months in the yard, and people who really know what they're doing. But before we could even get it to the yard for paint, we had a couple of projects that we needed to finish ourselves. Putting in new port lights, stripping all of the exterior teak off Anticipation, and removing everything from the boat. I think it's also worth mentioning that this whole boat juggling process that we went through took a few months, and we were actually filming quite a lot of projects that ended up not really being needed because we had planned on selling Anticipation just kind of as is, and we were just making it ready to be sold. Just like any good sailor, when the winds changed, we had to adjust our sails and get onto a new tack to stay on course and get to our ultimate goal of going cruising. New stainless steel port lights got in, and the car is full of port lights. What I didn't plan on is how big the boxes would be and how heavy they are. I don't have anywhere to really put them right now on the boat, so instead of getting started with the installation, I think I'm gonna have to spend today organizing the boat, getting these out of the boxes and organized in a way that doesn't take up too much space, because there are a lot of ongoing projects on board right now and not a lot of space to accommodate every little thing. And that makes this whole process a little bit more complicated, is juggling every project. These look great. They are super shiny. I love the design of them, and they're a little bit heavy. But one of the main things that you might notice is that they're also a little bit bigger than the windows that we currently have. One of the cool things that Newfound Metals does, who we got these from, is they'll actually send you a template. We have to return it when we're done, but it's a cutting and drilling template that you just kind of stick on the hull, and you can cut the hole super accurately, and we're excited because these are going to look so good. This should be a pretty straightforward process. Since we're not keeping these windows, I don't have to be very gentle with them. I'm going to have to tape this whole area off now, so you're not going to see this next part, but I have to route out the hole just ever so slightly. It's not too much of a gap, but I do have to make this hole bigger, otherwise the new windows won't go in. Getting that hole cut was extremely messy, and I'm glad I didn't have the camera on because I probably would have gotten dust all over the lens. But before I clean up the mess, I still have to put the new PVC wall up and cut that hole out, That way I can install the window into that. If I were to just install it now, it's way too thin. So let's go ahead and put some PVC up. What I like most about this stuff is it can be cut with a knife. For sealants, I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. Newfound Metals also recommends using a rubber EPDM foam for the outside and then like a butyl tape for the inside. So with the window test fit in, they recommend put some dowels or drill bits in the holes to kind of hold it in place. And just check the gap around it. Now I gotta take the window down and clean up everything to make sure there's no dust or anything, and then get the butyl tape in there, and I can put the flange on the outside, and we'll have one complete port light. Alright, as you can see, it is now dark out, but I got the window in. I sealed it as best as I can, but tomorrow I'm going to hit it with a hose and see if anywhere is leaking. And if not, then I'll clean it up and move on to the next one. 1 down, 9 to go. 50 years ago when this boat was built, a lot of boat builders didn't really understand how long a boat would last. And I think that's part of why these cheap plastic parts were used, where something as simple as a steel one would last just as long as the boat. Most modern boats are moved away from these cheap plastic ones and are using either an aluminum or a stainless steel port light. And I think in another 50 years, we're never going to see these again. We are super happy with how all these windows turned out. It took us less than 2 weeks to get everything done, and now we can focus on getting all the teak off the boat and get this thing painted. One thing that we're going to be doing to update the look of the boat and the feel of the boat is removing a lot of this exterior teak. It's a huge pain in the butt to maintain any exterior teak, so by just getting rid of it, we're going to be saving ourselves a lot of future hassles. It hasn't been a problem yet, but every little screw hole that we have in the tow rail right here can potentially leak, and by filling all those holes, that just eliminates the possibility of any future leaking. I know this is a very controversial take, but teak, it's old. It doesn't need to be on a boat on the outside anymore. The only teak that I'm really planning on keeping are going to be these handrails, because they're going to just be a pain to try to find a replacement for. And then maybe this eyebrow, because this does help with preventing water from dripping down into your port lights if there's ever an issue with leaking. There were 73 total screws holding that piece on, as well as a bunch of 5200. Filling these holes in is not that big a deal, but one tip that our painting guy gave us is that when you fill in the hole, you don't want to just fill it in with thickened epoxy or fairing compound. You want to also put some fiberglass over that hole. That plug that you've just inserted into the hole can eventually work its way out if it's not glassed in as well. We've only done about 12 feet of the boat so far, and there's 41 feet of boat total, so this might take a while. I realize these are going to look terrible, but that's okay because the painting guy is going to be fairing over all of this anyway, so I really don't care. I just need to get it done. The worst part of this first section is over, but now that I've kind of got the process down, I really don't think it'll take that long. I think the biggest thing is just being prepared for each step. That way I'm not trying to scramble and do it on the fly. This process is not nearly as satisfying as it looks. Whoever decided that these screws should be bent over on the inside of the boat is a real jack.
That's how they built boats in the 1970s. Screwed and glued. That's why they lasted so long.
I think I've got a better idea. By scoring the wood every so often, I'm hoping that it'll just kind of break apart a lot easier. Moving day! The last step before we can paint the boat is that we have to get everything off the boat. So to help accomplish that, we got So we're not taking everything off the boat, but we've taken off quite a bit so far, and the boat's like 3 inches up higher out of the water. Let's see how many inches it'll actually go up by the time we're done.
Look, the tag is some water heater for the fall.
We just filled the last box for now. There's still so much stuff on board that needs to come out.
12 tubs, right?
Oh, that's a lot.
12, 14 tubs.
And now we gotta take it to storage. It is finally moving day on Sailing Anticipation, and we have Ashley and Travis from Sailing Papillon to help us move.
Yay! So, are you going to go this way?
I'm going to go whichever way the boat goes.
I have a feeling we picked out the colors.
But I put a
It's
160
gonna be like a
thermostat in
like
it,
a
so I
beige
was
tan type
surprised
color
by
for the
that.
hull, and like a red stripe. But I was joking with Josh. I was like, it's gonna feel like an off-brand island packet when we're done.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so with the color
I was
scheme?
also going to
The ivory kind of color. It'll look nice.
Josh, how do you feel?
So good. The right is on the close side. Yeah, it's on the close side. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a derelict boat in the lake over here, and we're afraid that when we come in, people are going to be like, no, turn around, go out.
Yeah.
want your kind
No derelict boats! No derelict boats!
But it's not that kind of boat.
Just a really ugly duckling right now.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
We should get a flag made or something like, not derelict.
Yeah. Sorry.
Not run over the seagull. The seagull right in front of us.
He's going to move.
I don't know. Seagull's on the right away.
We made
it!
A lot of shit inside here.
No cursing.
No problems.
Yelling. No nothing.
Yeah.
We made it to the yard in not as long as we thought.
No, it took a lot less
Yeah.
time.
Now this might sound controversial, but we decided not to film any of the work being done in the yard because at the end of the day, we weren't the ones doing it. So instead of showing you how they painted the boat, we'll skip right to the end result. What do you think?
Well, I think she looks good. It's like a derelict boat before we brought it in here.
This has been a 2-month-long process of watching the boat transform before our eyes from the ghetto-looking derelict hull that she was to what she currently looks like.
So much better.
It's so much better, and we are very happy with the work that was done here. Now we just need to splash it. I can't help but smile when I see it. It's just so beautiful in person. Really hard to move right now. Try not to.
Lord! He barely turned it.
Yeah, he's probably got the packing's probably dried all out on it. He's just creating awkward.
All right, so what did you just figure out?
The emergency tiller, as it was made, does not fit over the rudder post, meaning that if this was truly a pon-pon situation, we might be dead in the water. This rudder packing is technically above the water line, so I mean, there's nothing to flush it out. I think the only thing we can do is let it soak for a minute and then try working it again. Well, thanks for watching. So that sucked. We've been sitting in this slip for 2 days. We talked to the mechanic here at the yard, and he's seen this before. When a boat is on the hard for 2 or 3 months, these extended periods, the boat likes to settle and flex. I believe that's what happened to us here. As the boat is back in the water is actually reforming the hull ever so slightly to all of its natural curves, and that natural curve greatly impacts your rudder. So if it wasn't clear in the video, it was really, really hard to steer. I thought that the rudder had seized up. That's why we were fighting so hard. And it doesn't help that we had million-dollar boats all around us in a very narrow channel on a very windy day. But fortunately we were able to make it into a safe slip and get the boat tied up, so we're safe for now. So the rudder on this boat, it has a bearing at the top and a little bearing at the bottom. And if these are not properly aligned, then the shaft, the rudder's shaft, will bend, and that will cause it to kind of jam up as you try to turn it. And what we think happened is that because the boat was out of the water for so long, the hull flexed enough to flex our rudder shaft and throw out that alignment by just enough to make it very, very hard to turn. We've been back in the water for 2 days now, and those 2 days have actually already made a huge difference. I'm able to turn the wheel a lot easier than I did 2 days ago. So the local mechanic here that works on this kind of thing, he recommended leave it for 3 more days and try again, and if it's not better, then we're coming back out of the water to have new bearings installed. You're going to be seeing this after this is all resolved anyway, but you know, if you could, please keep us and this boat in your prayers. We could really use all the help we can get on this. Today is actually the first day that I'm able to turn the wheel the whole way around and not lock up at some point, which is promising. I think we're on our way to being back in working order. Well, we made it. We were able to move Anticipation just around the corner into our new slip where we're going to be keeping her for the time being. We've already started to move everything back on board, and we have a lot more projects to do before we can actually move aboard full time. But we are absolutely thrilled with how this professional paint job turned out. This is so much better than anything that we could have done ourselves. Let us know what you think. Was this worth the money that we spent to have it done professionally instead of spending years and years and years trying to DIY every little thing on the boat? And as always, thank you so much for watching. We've enjoyed this whole process, and we hope that you enjoyed watching it as well. And as a special announcement, we will be at the Annapolis Sailboat Show in just a few days. So if you want to get a free, exclusive 2 Half-Hitches sticker, come find us. We'll be milling around the show the whole weekend, and we'd love to meet you in person. And if you want to buy us a drink, you know, you can do that as well. Anyway, we will see you very, very soon.